Hey, I'm Jessica. If you love cars as much as I do, you're in the right place. From drifting car days to uncovering the world's most iconic rides, gear up and subscribe to Race with Jessica for non-stop car fun. Here are 5 reasons why the all-new 2027 Chevrolet Silverado is the most jaw-dropping truck launch in a generation, and why it could permanently redraw the battle lines of America's fiercest automotive rivalry. General Motors has just made official what insiders have been quietly celebrating for months. And the 5th-generation Silverado is arriving this year loaded with technology that makes the competition look like it's already running a decade behind. The numbers alone are enough to make heads spin. While rivals scramble to push their next-generation responses deep into the future, Chevrolet is preparing to deliver a haymaker that comes with over 18 months of pure market exclusivity. GM has poured nearly $2 billion specifically into this truck's revolutionary new powertrain program, and the early details don't just hint at catching up, they scream domination. Here's what makes this story genuinely electric. The current Silverado is already America's second best-selling truck, shifting over 560,000 units in a single year. When you stack Silverado and Sierra numbers together, GM's twin truck strategy actually surpasses its biggest rival by more than 63,000 units annually. And yet, somehow, the crown still sits in someone else's hands purely on the strength of badge recognition. That uncomfortable mathematical reality is about to become a whole lot more uncomfortable for the competition, because the 2027 Silverado isn't a refresh. It isn't new headlights and a software update. This is the first ground-up clean sheet redesign since 2018, and GM is not playing it safe. Built on the all-new Evolve T on a -2 platform and powered by an entirely new generation of small-block V8 engines that took 5 years and nearly $2 billion to engineer, the 2027 Silverado is designed to solve every complaint, answer every criticism, and erase every doubt that has followed the current generation since its debut. Let's start where it matters most under the hood. The all-new Gen 6 small-block V8 represents the kind of investment you make when you're not just updating an engine, you're trying to build a legend. GM's Flint engine operations alone received $579 million for this program, while the Tonawanda propulsion facility in Buffalo was handed another $888 million to support V8 production. These aren't refresh budgets. This is the kind of capital commitment that signals a generational leap is incoming. The current 5.3-liter V8 produces 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque, while the 6.2-liter tops out at 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet. The new Gen 6 engines will match or exceed both figures while simultaneously delivering roughly 6% better fuel economy, and they'll achieve it with hybrid assistance, engineered from scratch to provide the kind of instant torque fill that makes towing feel almost effortless. During a recent investor call, GM's leadership revealed that these trucks will offer up to 6% better efficiency than 2022 models, and as much as 10 to 12% better than the 2019 generation. But raw efficiency numbers only tell half the story. The half that really matters is reliability, and this is where the Gen 6 architecture takes its most important swing. The new engine directly addresses the lifter failure and dynamic fuel management issues that turned social media into a war zone between loyal fans and frustrated owners of the current generation. GM's engineers have completely redesigned the valve train geometry and updated oil specifications to eliminate the problems that created some of the loudest warranty complaints in recent memory. The Gen 6 also incorporates advanced cylinder deactivation, lightweight oil specs, auto start-stop technology, and potentially gasoline particulate filters, all working in concert with a hybrid system that wasn't bolted on as an afterthought, but engineered from day one to meet the stricter 2027 to 2032 EPA emission standards while keeping the driving character that traditional truck buyers demand. The exterior tells an equally compelling story of transformation. Patent filings uncovered by automotive journalists reveal a front end that is more upright, more assertive, and more unapologetically truck-like than anything the current generation dared to attempt. Rectangular grille elements, rigid horizontal and vertical lines, and a genuinely rugged visual presence replace the somewhat polarizing direction of the outgoing design. The new Silverado adopts split lighting units inspired by the 2025 Tahoe and Suburban, paired with a mesh grille dominated by a prominent horizontal bar that emphasizes width and commands attention. But the detail that will have enthusiasts talking loudest sits at the rear quad exhaust tips borrowed directly from the Corvette C8, also appearing on the latest Traverse, Tahoe, and Suburban. That's not just styling flourish. Those four outlets are a declaration of serious performance intent hiding beneath redesigned bodywork. The man behind the styling, Tyler Moffitt, has shaped virtually every major Chevrolet truck and SUV in recent years. His track record is one of balancing genuine work-ready capability with the kind of visual polish that means a customer won't think twice about pulling into any parking lot, regardless of the occasion. The patent images suggest he's delivered exactly that: a truck that works hard without looking like it's apologizing for existing. And what's happening inside the cabin may be the most dramatic upgrade of all. Borrowing freely from Cadillac's latest design language while incorporating GM's newest infotainment architecture, the 2027 Silverado's interior represents a leap over the current generation that should finally silence comparisons to Ram's luxury-focused cabin and Ford's technology-heavy, higher-trim approach. The redesigned dashboard integrates the infotainment screen far more cohesively into the overall layout, eliminating the tablet glued to the dash aesthetic that plagues so many current competitors. Revised digital displays, updated materials throughout, and particular attention paid to seat comfort, an area where long-distance drivers have consistently flagged issues with the current generation, complete a cabin that finally feels worthy of the president. $60,000 plus prices buyers are regularly paying. But perhaps one of the most strategically interesting changes involves what GM is taking away rather than adding. As part of the automaker's simplification strategy first introduced in 2024, the LTZ trim level is being discontinued entirely. The goal is straightforward: reduce engineering complexity, streamline supplier relationships, cut build combinations, and focus manufacturing resources where they deliver the most impact. The logic is sound when you examine the numbers. The 2026 LTZ starts at $64,195, while the High Country begins at $69,295. A gap of just $5,100 between two premium trims creates customer confusion and production headaches without meaningfully serving either buyer. By focusing on configurations that reflect how customers actually spec and order these trucks, GM is learning a lesson that certain technology-first automakers proved years ago: simplicity at scale is a genuine competitive advantage. Off-road buyers aren't being left behind either. The competitive timing of this launch creates a dynamic that may prove to be the biggest single advantage Chevrolet has enjoyed in decades. With Ford reportedly delaying their next-generation full-size truck all the way to 2028, GM walks into an 8-month window of next-generation exclusivity, carrying brand-new technology, fresh styling, and a hybrid V8 story that no competitor can immediately answer. In a segment where customers routinely spend $50,000 to $80,000 on vehicles they plan to own for the better part of a decade, arriving first to market with genuinely new technology creates a momentum that is notoriously difficult to reverse. History has proven that point repeatedly, market leadership won during a competitor's absence tends to stick around long after they return. Current sales figures paint a portrait of just how fiercely competitive this battleground has become. GM's combined full-size truck lineup has moved well over 683,000 units in recent sales periods, more than 63,000 units ahead of the F-Series on a combined basis. In certain key markets, GM's combined Silverado and Sierra family, including electric variants, has already claimed a segment-leading share north of 40%. The base pricing for the 2027 model remains officially unconfirmed, but industry analysts broadly expect both entry and top-end figures to push higher than the current generation's $38,345 to $74,595 range. The increasing content levels, hybrid technology, and elevated positioning all but guarantee it. For buyers willing to wait, the production timeline puts first 2027 Silverados in showrooms by fall 2026, with the likely public debut arriving at the 2026 New York Auto Show in April, a global stage tailor-made for the kind of statement GM appears to be preparing. Manufacturing will be spread across GM's Fort Wayne facility in Indiana, the Silao plant in Mexico, and the Oshawa plant in Canada, which handles both Silverado 1500 and HD variants. The multi-plant footprint gives GM the production flexibility to respond to demand without compromising the quality standards that will be critical during a high-profile launch of all new technology. The reliability question is, of course, the one that will ultimately define success or failure. J.D. Power's latest dependability study ranked the Silverado 1502nd overall among full-size trucks, a genuine improvement that suggests the lessons of the previous generation have been absorbed. But new hybrid powertrains add complexity, and the real test will come in the months and years after launch. The $888 million Tonawanda investment alone signals that GM isn't cutting corners. When you commit that level of capital to engine manufacturing infrastructure, you're betting that the technology is genuinely ready, not almost ready. The 2027 Chevrolet Silverado isn't just another entry in the endless cycle of model year updates and incremental improvements. It is GM's most confident, most expensive, and most consequential statement in the pickup wars in at least a decade. With 18 months of next-generation exclusivity on the clock, $2 billion worth of engineering ambition under the hood, and a design that finally looks like it means business, Chevrolet isn't arriving at a fight, it's arriving to finish one. Whether GM's investment and years of development produce a truck that permanently reshapes the segment remains to be seen when the covers come off later this year. But one thing is already clear: America's pickup truck landscape is about to get very, very interesting. And before you go anywhere, if you want to stay ahead of every drop, every reveal, and every truth the mainstream automotive world doesn't want to talk about, hit that like button and subscribe to Race with Jessica. The truck wars, the bike wars, the SUV wars, we cover it all, and we cover it first. Speaking of wars, if you thought the Silverado story was wild, wait until you check out the 2026 Nissan Rogue popping up on the left of your screen. It might be the biggest trap in the market,